All right, guys. So this is a typical buggy in an anthracite, bootleg mine. That's kind of what some people call it, an independent mine. The mine that me and Banks work at now is about this size. It's a little bit lower and a tiny bit longer, but this will hold 1 ton of coal. So this is what I spent all day yesterday doing, was pushing one of these things. So we don't have a mine motor like one of those things. We push the buggies on the rail. So I ran 28 of these things from the chute back to the slope.
How did you derail?
I only put one on the ground and it was empty. So I did derail the buggies yesterday, but that's kind of my specialty. So the way that the mine is set up is that it doesn't take the coal outside on its own mine car. Like it wouldn't pull this outside, or it doesn't go out through a tunnel. It goes on a slope, like Banks was saying. The pitch is like 70 degrees there-ish. So they ran the slope right down the pitch of the coal. And on that is track, but it's not steel rail, it's wooden rail. So there's 2 wooden rails and then ties, if you would. They're just 2x plank. And then they grease them. And then when they slide with it, I call it the bucket, he laughs at me. But it's called the gunboat. And that is attached to the hoist at the top, and then there's the tipple. So the gunboat is like a big giant bucket that slides on these rails. And it goes down, we're down about 300 feet. So that attached to the hoist on the surface, and the hoist pulls this thing up and down all day long. So we run the, Banks and Jared and Josh and them guys are working up in the chute. Josh was actually loading, it was his first time running the boards yesterday, loading the cars, so that was pretty cool. So Jared was up poking at the coal, trying to make it mad and make it run down the chute. And
Banks standing around making fun of everybody.
Standing around playing mine foreman. Anyway, the boys would fill the coal car, and then I'd run it down the gangway and through the switch and throw the switch. You got switches in there like these, but we don't have nice switch throws. You just kick the points of your feet to the direction you want them to go to and push the buggy through. And then there's a dump, so the end of the car has a door on it back there. And then there's a bar that sticks out the one side, and as you dump, the car goes into a short piece of track that has a curve around the end. And when you push the car into the curve, there's a hinge right here. And it hits it, and then the weight of the car goes over center, and the car dumps into the bucket.
Slope buggy, the gunboat.
And then you stand on the end of the car, you bring it back down over center, and you pull it back off the dump onto the rail without derailing it. And then you give it a shove down the gangway, it starts going, you grab the intercom that goes outside and say, dump it. Brownie says, okay! And then he hoists it out, and out the coal goes. And you take your buggy and you run it all the way back to the chute. And you do that 28 times, and then you go home. No? Where do you go, Banks?
You go to the best kept secret, Mary D. That's where you go.
For your after shift. Well, anyway. So, tour's probably gonna be coming soon, but this is the normal tour trip. We'll take notice we walk past this thing. The last trip on the car, or the last buggy on the trip, that sat in my dad's backyard for a little while too. So, all these mine cars came from the B&M tunnel down in, what is that, Good Spring, Josh? All the Lansford cars came from B&M tunnel. They had to be re-gauged because the track gauge there is 36 inches. That means between rail to rail. Here it's 42. So the axles had to be cut, space was put in. The windows on the sides were cut in, doors were cut and put on them. And for some reason they only took 2 of them. And they left one of them at the tunnel. And then we acquired that one, and then that set, the last one we got.
Let's see what you're talking about.
If you would, sir. So like Chris said, this here is an anemometer. And this is a really nice one too. So it's got a dial here that goes, it's got tens around the outside, it's got hundreds, and it's got thousands on it. Okay, that's the little dials there. And this is for measuring the velocity of air in anywhere, but we use it in a coal mine. Yeah. So this has 2 different controls on it. One is a reset right here, and that resets it back to 0. And then one is a brake, and the brake's currently on. Now, here's the problem is it's actually backwards. I'm gonna have to hold it this way to do the reading. But how you use this is you come into your airway.
I got your stopwatch, Banks. Tell me when you're gonna start it.
Okay. If that's the case. You come into your airway, get your blades up to speed, And what we're gonna do is we're gonna time this. We'll do, I guess we'll just do, should we do 30 seconds instead of 60? We'll do 30 seconds. This is based on a 60-second or a 1-minute calculation. But we're gonna do it for 30 seconds, and I'll show you how to do that. So, ready, set, go. So my fan blades are spinning, and in an active mine, it'd be spinning like crazy, because you actually need, where's our best air here? Oh boy, we're going the other way. Here we're getting some good flow. Be spinning like crazy. You actually need 5,000 cubic feet of air at your last open crosscut. It's called in an active mine. So
Stop.
all right, we got 20 feet.
He's one of my customers. Yeah.
It's like thunder.
I've been sitting for about a year now.
Alright, so now is the time where the group of us are going to climb 200 feet to the surface up a wooden ladder set, which is an escape shaft all the way to the surface. I'm going to switch some gear, mount my action camera on my wrist, use my headlamp, and we're going to climb all the way to the top. As much as I may not want to do it, I am going to do it for the sake of the video and for the experience.
Yeah, it's the only way out.
I feel better over here. There we go.
Nice. That's fantastic. I just wanted the UGM and AMR in there. We gotta get the original put on mine. Wish me luck.
Good luck!
I mean, what's the worst that can happen?
See you at the top. Come down like Plinko.
Ask that question, try it. I can tell you from experience, whenever you ask that question, nothing ends well.
That's right.
I thought it was like 800 feet.
It's pretty far. Remember how we climbed Pioneers all the way to the tube, and the tube and the ladder goes outside. And the tube was just full of those spider cricket things. And we were going to climb outside, and we saw that, like, yeah, this is good enough.
Here we go, where you throw pennies and stuff down here.
It's an airway down to the next level. Yeah, it was the airway.
That was always running water.
Alright, let's do this. Lucky road?
Are you counting the runs?
No.
This one here, please.
Fix it while you're there.
I forgot the hammer. Damn it. Where's that piece of coal?
And it was on the street.
Alright, a little bit of a traffic jam. It's too small. What do you think,
Yeah, I
Dan?
lost them. I like it. Find your petrified limbs in here will be next to
this every day. I didn't know you were coming up here over that.
Yes. That's rock. Did they remember to take the
Just like
lock out?
Pennsylvania roads, we had a roadblock. There's some traffic up ahead.
I think they got lost. Somebody broke down. Nobody's moving.
It's a nightmare on Route 81.
What else is new? I'm glad this isn't an emergency escape. For real.
Need a capsule like Lackawanna Mine.
That was what you need to do. I don't think you would know. He's done it. Yeah, I remember seeing a video of that. One picture of me since he went in. Oh. I got one leg in a ladder touching the bottom. I keep thought that was kind of petrified wood and rock. The next ladder is even worse.
Mine that we've gone in, and there's where the rock is, there's clay.
Huh.
And You clean it off and like.
All right, so we climbed up a relatively steep slope here, and then it comes up to a vertical shaft. Dan's up there.
Oh, I see it.
And it transitions to a different ladder.
Somehow you gotta end up.
I hope I can do this.
Come on, Jay, you're good. You're good, Keith. You got it. Take it one step at a time. Just take your time. Don't rush. We're in no rush.
Yeah.
It's amazing how tight they get these numbers in here.
Straight ladder first. Walking.
Excellent. Now, as you come up here, you kind of got to make your way over to me. I don't have a good suggestion on how to do it.
All right, so quick update as to what happened. I was climbing the escape shaft as you saw. Got all the way up to where it goes straight vertical. I climbed up that, and at the top, the wooden ladder ends and turns into a metal casing that goes to the surface. And where the casing meets that ladder, there's a little platform halfway over the hole. And you had to get up there to get to the aluminum ladder to make it out. And it was a difficult transition. I mean, I think I'm the only one who couldn't do it. I just got to that point. I was doing good until then. I started thinking, and my mind took over. My fear of heights kicked in. Legs started shaking, and I'm like, if I try this, I might slip and fall, and it would have been a straight drop. I would have got hurt. So I made a smart decision, which everyone agreed was the right decision, to go back down, climb back down the steps, the ladder rungs, all the way back down to the tunnel. So didn't get to make it to the top. Still may be able to get up there later on by driving up there or hiking up there. The others didn't make it, so you may see some of the head frame, fan house area in other people's videos. But now that that's over, we're all waiting for everyone to kind of collect here, and we're going to be operating one of these, the Mine Locomotive. I'm going to be operating it as well as everyone else. I'm going to get you some onboard footage of me operating it, and also some footage of it coming and going, you know, some different angles, different vantage points, which is going to be a lot of fun. So, more video to come.
Going in next, I gotta run that.
Great, away we go. You can run it up to the little pointers on that black line. That's not our cat. We don't want to go down. Keep going around. So it gets off the brake.
We got you covered, Chris. Just drive. No texting while driving.
Okay. Now we're gonna milk the brake through the switch. So get your foot on the brake. Ease it. She's a little sensitive.
Yeah.
All right. You can run that up the next notch. Yeah, there you go. We'll leave it there for the whole way in. Okay.
right, what an incredible day. I don't know where to start. I'm going to try to keep it short and on point, but today's tour was unlike anything I've ever experienced before. Even though things didn't go 100% according to plan, I had such a fantastic time. As you saw, we had a great turnout. There was over 20 people here, I think closer to 25. And I first want to thank Chris and the whole group for the underground miners, and also Zach and the employees here at Lansford Mine. They really made it for a great experience. And those who did participate today, I'm pretty sure I had a fantastic time. Being able to walk the entire mine with the lights off was really cool. We got to see a lot of great things along the way. Things were explained about safety devices with lamps, drilling, blasting, even the operation of the Electric Mine Locomotive, and my failure of climbing the escape shaft. Although I did get about 90% of the way, I wasn't able to succeed. But regardless of that, though, I still had a great experience doing it and trying it, but my legs will be feeling it tomorrow. I do know a lot of people filmed today, so I will do my best to link up their videos once they do release theirs. The only thing I wasn't able to show you was the top head frame and fan house, which we would have saw if I climbed the escape shaft all the way out. I know others got in their videos, so you can tune into those, check it out. But if I do come back in the future, I will be driving up there separately to check it out for myself and to at least snap a few photos at the very least. But obviously, if you couldn't tell, my favorite part was the mine locomotive. I got to run it in twice, got to ride it actually a few times though, because I was filming different people operating it, which was a lot of fun. It's like a rickety roller coaster, and there's areas with rain coming down, stuff like that. So it's just an overall great experience. And I'm all dirty. I feel like a legit coal miner today. But other than that though, I can't say enough good things about it. Stay tuned in the future. I will announce when they do further plans and events for mine tours, not only back here at Lansford number 9, but they did talk about other mines in the area too. So 2022, they did state that it's going to be bigger and better, and you're gonna want to be on the lookout for those events, because if you enjoy this one, plan on coming to the next one if you're able to. You won't want to miss it. But hopefully though, this video allowed you to feel and understand what it's like to be here in person with the whole group and learn a lot of things, not only about the mine itself here, being the longest continuously operated coal mine in the world, but also learning about coal mining methods and safety and just anything related to coal mining. I mean, they answered it and they talked about it, and they are super knowledgeable. So my hats are off to them. They did a fantastic job. Glad I was able to be a part of it, to share the word, and to document it for you and everyone else. With that said, I'd love to hear your feedback. Comment down below. What did you enjoy out of today's tour? And let me know if you've ever done anything like that before, climbing an escape shaft to the surface or operating a mine locomotive. Both were really fantastic and things I will never forget. Until next time, guys, thanks for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next video. Alright guys, a little bit of bonus footage for you with the help of RJ and Dan. Came up to the area that I came really close to seeing for myself earlier in the video. So up here, where the escape shaft is, and the head frame and ventilation fan. So there are some pipes here which are bored down into the ground. There's also some ruins here with some foundations. But up here, which RJ is leading the way, is where the hatch is that we were climbing up, and I came so close to reaching. I was maybe about 15 feet away. And this is where they exited. It's like a big steel portal here. So inside there was an aluminum ladder in there, which went down to a platform to where I made it to. So this is sunk into the ground for stability issues, because the ground up here is not very stable. So that keeps anything from collapsing, falling in. But this is where I would have exited, but everyone else did, which you will see in their videos. More foundations here. There's some pipes sticking on the ground here too. And I want to show you the fan area really quick, and then the head frame. But thankfully we were able to see it from the surface, even though we weren't able to see it the way they were intending with crawling up the escape shaft. This is not on currently, the mine is closed, but this is how they ventilate the mine. It's a big, kind of like a turbine there to push fresh air into the mine. And sorry if I sound out of breath, we had to climb up all this all the way from down there. So look Okay, we're gonna head up now and check out the head frame. Okay, they spotted it, so once you get up there, we'll pick up with the footage. Looks like a little shack here of sorts. There's a little foundation here I'm standing on. And there's a heart, so is that the love shack? Possibly. Looks like it's open underneath there. See if we get a... There's some rail right here too. Yeah, not sure what that is, but there's goes somewhere in there. Another pipe coming out here, so there's definitely things on the surface, but the mine would be almost directly underneath us here. There's even old steps here too. Reminds me of the Glenburn mine area where there were steps going up the mountainside. So this is the head frame, right, for the elevator system?
There, yeah.
Oh geez, I didn't even see that.
Yeah, it's up there.
What was this then, a building?
I don't know what this was.
This was where the hoist was. The cables ran up top there.
Oh, so this would be like the anchor area. The cables would have spooled up and would have used the head frame to go straight down. Okay, that makes sense. Somebody paid attention.
I was distracted.
I was still underground. It's like another little pathway here. There are steps that filled up with material though. Yeah, it doesn't look like much from the top, but this is a big, heavy foundation. This looks like some narrow gauge rail. Just imagine now, we are walking on top of the mine. So I was underground, underneath all this. Yeah, these big anchor bolts here coming out of the ground would have anchored the machinery and equipment. Right up there is the head frame, which looks really imposing. And you can see the scale with RJ and Dan walking up there too.
I didn't know I lost it either.
Yeah, there it is. Wow.
Thank God we came back up.
Yeah, what are the chances we come up? RJ found his flashlight. He didn't know he lost. So what we're looking at, just to quickly summarize, we are underneath the head frame now. There's two big massive wheels like pulleys. Cables would have been attached to them going in the ground. This is capped off. So this is basically the top of an elevator shaft, and we saw them from down below. This is how much? 2 inches of concrete? This goes 700 feet down below though to the lowest level, and I could feel that too. So we are now 700 feet above the lowest level in the mine. To put that into perspective, which would be about 70 stories of a skyscraper. You can see again how big it is. Really imposing structure. So the motor house for this, which was probably steam powered, I'm imagining, and the pulleys and everything were down that big foundation down below. And the cables wrapped around here and went straight down. And as RJ showed before, they're still attached. Do you know how they're attached though? Like
They're on a wheel, I think.
underneath here?
I think so. I don't know.
I wonder if it's like a cross beam or something. Okay, so they're attached to like an I-beam across here underneath the concrete, which is still holding those elevator cars in place, I believe, on the first level that we saw. And they would bring the empty coal cars up and then send them down to the different levels. So glad we got to see it. Big thanks to RJ and Dan for bringing me up here, because because I didn't miss out on it earlier, but now we can at least say we made it up here and we're able to see what everyone else got to see.